What up YouTube, this is Bangersvan3 here, making a video for outta, and the voice might be really bad, but as long as you get the gist, it'll be all good. And I'll be doing problem 001 for her, out of her many questions. Anyway, let's get started. So, first part of the problem you have to understand is what is it asking for and what does it give you? Well, here's what it gives you. It says, if you're reading the question, that it's at an angle of 39.6 degrees from H. H means horizontal. It is going out at 1780 meters per second. Gravity is 9.8 meters per second. And you know there's no air resistance. Now, what do you not know from this? It's asking you for time in seconds, or just times in minutes, I guess. I'll probably answer for you in seconds though. Anyway, so from here, where do we go? We draw a picture. What is this asking for? It's asking for a can. It's showing us a cannon, right? This can blah 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 blah. Alright, that's probably my crappiest cannon ever. From horizontal level is shooting at an angle of 39.6 degrees at 1780 meters per second. Now, what I recommend for these kinds of questions is an FBD, meaning free body diagram, saying all the forces that are acting on this object. So, what do you know that's acting on this object? All you're given is gravity because air resistance is negligent. So, all you have is a force going downward. What does that mean? That means the forces in the x direction is equal to 0, and forces in the y direction is equal to force of gravity. Hopefully this isn't lagging. Anyway, so with that given, you can go to the next part. What do we have next? We have the picture that you probably should have recorded down. If you don't, pause it now and go back and look over that a little bit. Again, I'm improving this, and Windows Live Movie Maker froze on me, so I'm kind of peeved. Anyway, so what you need to know now is the variables that are included in this demonstration. So you know that there's an initial velocity. Alright? And you know there is an acceleration pointing in the y direction. And you know what the acceleration in the x direction is, because in the FBD, the only force you had was pointing downward. Which means that the only force is in the y direction. So you know that there is a y acceleration, which is force of gravity, and x, which is 0. Alright? And what you can assume is that since the cannon is on the ground, so you also know what x initial is, and since it's asking for how long it's going to be in the air, it means how long it's going to not hit the ground. So you do know what y initial is and y final is. They're both going to be 0. So what equation can you get out of this? You can get y naught, or y final, is equal to y naught plus velocity in the y direction times time plus 1/2 acceleration in the y direction times time. This can also be used for the x direction, and just for reference picture, this is the y direction, this is the x direction, and right now all we're dealing with is up and down. Alright, and there's a stupid fly that's annoying me to heck. I do not want to be annoyed. So how did they get this equation? God dang it, freaking fly. Now is not the time to piss me off. Oh my gosh, McDonald's, I'm loving it. Anyway, so this is asking for meters, right? So meters is equal to meters plus meters over second times second plus 1/2 meters over second squared. Oh, sorry, this is square there. I'm sorry about that. Times second squared. And these seconds will cancel out, so that all that's left is meters. So what do we have right here? Y final, which you know is going to be 0 because it has to go from this cannon, which I'm about to redraw, in a parabola form. God dang it, you freaking fly, why are you attached to me? Like, do I smell like... Oh, actually I just had McDonald's. Anyway, god dang it, Sarah's like angry. You're trying to find its initial, so this is all going to be a y is equal to 0. So you know this initial, the final one's going to be 0. You know the initial is going to be 0. You know that. Oh, the velocity in the y direction. How do you find that out? Well, since this is at an angle of 39.6 degrees, and you know how fast it's going initially, all you have to do now is draw a triangle and use your trig. And since you know that the angle and the side, which I'm going to label C, and since this is in the y direction, you can just assume that's sine, because sine goes with y and cosine goes with x. If you want further explanation, I can explain the trick to you as well. I'm just wanting you to understand the concept of physics. But if you do the math for that, by the way, put your calculator in degree mode for this. You will get 1134.615 meters per second for the time, or for the velocity, times time, which you don't know, plus 1/2 acceleration. And since you have acceleration for gravity, it'll be negative 9.8. The reason you have a negative there is because we're saying that going upward is positive and going down is negative. So gravity is going to, oh, can you see that? Yeah. Gravity is going to be against us this whole time. And it's multiplied by times squared. Now, to figure out time itself, we have to do a little bit of algebra. which I'm going to erase the board for, so if you want a quick second to copy all this down, pause it now. And let's move on. Alright, now from here, you have 0 is equal to 1134.6. Actually, wait a sec. Oh my lord, I just messed up. Wait, no, did I? No, never mind, I'm good. We are good. 10.65. That's a rounded number, that's not exact. Times time minus 1/2 9.8. That's meters per second for gravity times time squared. Now what you can do is put this on the opposite side so that it'll be 4.9. I'm just going to do the math for there. 4.9 times squared is equal to 1134.615 times time. Since you have common numbers on both sides, time and time, you can just get rid of those. So we'll divide by time. And that will get us 4.9 time is equal to 1134.615. Sorry I'm writing this sideways. That's just how I work. Anyway, so now to solve for time, just divide by 4.9. So time is equal to whatever that is. I'm about to figure that out. Divided by 4.9. It'll end up being 231.554. And that is your answer. If that helps you see better. Alright, and that will solve you part 1 of that question. Sorry it took so long, and sorry the quality is probably horrible.